This is a story about what my daughter, when faced with the impossible, learned about the power of giving and what she can teach us all about how to find happiness. This story starts on one of the worst days of my life, October 14th, 2011. My daughter Summer was 15 years old. She had been having this pain in her hip. We had been bouncing back and forth between doctors and specialists, but nobody seemed to think it was too serious. And then her pain got so bad that she got an MRI. The results were devastating. Summer had a mass on her pelvic bone the size of an orange. A biopsy showed it was a rare form of sarcoma cancer. And that's not all. More tests showed Summer was already stage 4. The cancer had spread to her spine, her femur, her lungs. We had had no indication she was that sick. I have to tell you about these purple bracelets that say Team Summer on them. Family friends had had them made up, and they were selling them. The idea was that half the money would go to help with Summer's medical expenses, and the other half to a charity of Summer's choosing. So far, Summer had shown no interest in choosing a charity, but the money was there. Now, sometimes in life, you've got to chase down opportunity. This time, it walked right up to us in the form of an 11-year-old bald girl. Summer and I had been sitting in the cancer clinic waiting room, where Summer had made an art form out of avoiding eye contact with any of the other kids. But this girl walked right up to Summer. She said, "Hi, my name is Sarah. Can I borrow your iPhone to play Angry Birds?" Well, I really thought Summer would say, no. But she said, sure, and she handed it over. And as she watched Sarah play her game, Summer asked her questions. She found out that this was Sarah's second battle with cancer, the first when she was just 8 years old. I watched Summer's eyes widen as Sarah matter-of-factly filled in the details. "They said I'd be okay if I made it 3 years, and I almost made it, and then the cancer came back, and now it's in my lungs. I hate chemo." After Summer and I got back to an exam room, Summer could not stop talking about Sarah. "Mom, she's so young and she's had cancer twice. We've got to do something." This was the exact tone and inflection that had gotten countless stray dogs and cats into our house over the years. But I was thrilled that Summer was interested in something other than her own misery. We brainstormed. We did have that bracelet money. What if we used some of it to get Sarah her very own iPod Touch? The money would be going to a good cause, and what better distraction from chemo than being able to play Angry Birds whenever you wanted? The whole idea of helping Sarah had Summer excited. A couple days later, Summer surprised Sarah with the gift. It was magical watching the two of them together. One bald girl helping another bald girl. Sure, it was about the gift, but it was also about the connection between the two of them. And Summer could see that she wasn't the only one. Unfortunately, there were lots of kids with cancer, and they were all around her. From that moment on, Summer was on a mission. Find more kids to help. And with that came a very different Summer. Her circumstances hadn't changed. She was still locked in a fierce battle with cancer, but she was changing. The more she focused on the other kids around her, the less she dwelled on her own situation. She talked to kids, got to know them, and then surprised them with special gifts. Something they'd always wanted, something to cheer them up, anything to get their minds off their treatments. laptops for kids so they'd have a way to stay in touch with their friends while they were in the hospital. Fashion photo shoots for girls so they could see, even though they had lost their hair, they were still beautiful. Mega blocks for a young boy so he'd have something to do the night before his leg was amputated. Summer called her gifts icebreakers because she saw them as a way to say, hey, we're in this together. You're not alone. Summer was lit up from the inside and everyone could see it. The more gifts she gave, the more people donated to her cause, which she called Team Summer, Kids Helping Kids with Cancer. And Summer told me that for the first time in her life, she could see her own beauty. And where before cancer she had no idea what she wanted to do with the rest of her life, now she was brimming with ideas. Take Team Summer nationally, be a pediatric oncology nurse, be a child life specialist. Sometimes I would sit back and say, who is this child and what have you done with Summer? 8 months into this ordeal, it looked like Summer was winning her battle. Almost all the cancer was gone from her body. She was one more lung surgery away from being cancer-free. And then the cancer came back with a vengeance. Doctors found 5 tumors in her brain. While still giving gifts, she endured 2 brain surgeries. But the cancer kept spreading. Finally, the doctors told us that there was nothing more they could do for her. When we left the hospital for the last time, Summer said, I wish somebody would tell me how much time I have left. I mean, is it 2 weeks, a month, a year? I need to know because I have plans. I said, baby, nobody knows. If they knew, they'd tell you. But it's not 2 weeks. If it was 2 weeks, we'd know. Turns out, it was 2.5 weeks. Summer died on November 11th, 2012. She was at home, surrounded by all her family. She was only 16 years old. The silence in my mind and heart was deafening. But I knew that the only thing worse than losing Summer would be also losing what she started, Team Summer. So we went back to the kids she gave gifts to, and we said, okay, now it's your turn. You find a kid with cancer who's scared, sad, or lonely, and you be the giver. Give as many gifts as you want. We raised the money, and they gave the gifts. And then the kids that they gave gifts to became the givers. And then those kids became givers. And the whole thing snowballed from there. I'm often in the background when a kid gives a Team Summer gift. And after a while, I noticed something that surprised me. I found I was watching the face of the giver more than the receiver. I recognized that same sense of purpose and satisfaction that I had seen on Summer's face. These kids weren't acting like victims. They had the same glow Summer had had. Was it possible that the kids giving the gifts were getting even more out of the program than the kids getting the gifts? One mom told me, with tears streaming down her face, that the only time she saw her daughter smile during her brutal brain cancer treatments was when she was giving a Team Summer gift. She gave 10 in all. She says she thinks Team Summer saved her daughter's life because without it, her daughter would have just given up. Giving made her daughter stronger. You'd think it would be just the opposite. If you give, you have less. But giving gave her more. And the same thing happened with Summer.